A 14-year-old boy has died after taking part in a national kickboxing competition. Scott Marsden collapsed during the bout in Leeds on Saturday and died today in hospital. The club hosting the event says there was no sign the fight needed to be stopped before he collapsed, with ringside medics working tirelessly to save him. Now, this video shows Scott during a previous fight. Today, as the martial arts community comes to terms with his death, a donation page has been set up for his family, with a statement saying, "Our lovely Scotty, who suffered an injury on Saturday whilst doing the thing he loved, sadly never recovered and took his final bow, surrounded by his family and people who love him." Everything Scotty did, he did with a passion and a confidence that was a pleasure to behold. He was the most wonderful, talented boy, and the loss of him will leave a hole in so many people's lives. But the tragedy raises questions about the safety of kickboxing for children and teenagers and regulation of the sport as well. I'm joined now by Rafael Nieto, a former world kickboxing champion who runs kickboxing schools in London for girls and boys and adults as well. Good to see you.
Hi, Matt.
What do you think about this?
Well, first, I'd like to give my condolences to the family. Having a son who I trained from a very early age, I really feel for the family. It just seems that the regulations, we have so many different associations, so many different regulations, and it's very hard to have one set of rules. And this has been in the martial arts endemic for forever. Yeah,
that's right. The British Kickboxing Council, I think it is, or is it association, says it doesn't sanction full contact events for under 16s, but there is no governing body, not like we have in boxing and many other sports, of course. So what do you think is right? Should there be full contact for teenagers?
I can only tell you what I do and what the WAMAI, which is the association that I work very closely with. And we don't allow people to do full contact until they're over 18. But that's just an opinion and my point of view. If you look at rugby or if you look at football, there are fatalities in everything we do in sport. This just happens to be a really very, very unfortunate situation.
But rugby, football, they're not about fighting particularly, and they are hugely popular. I mean, I guess the first question is just how popular is kickboxing amongst kids at the moment? Is it getting more and more popular?
Very, very popular, because in essence, martial arts is not about fighting. Fighting is the full stop at the end of the sentence that very few people do. The vast majority train it for fitness purposes. Keep fit is the motto that I use, and fit for life. So the fighting is such a small part of the martial arts. And then, of course, when something like this happens, it comes to the forefront. We have millions of people doing martial arts all over the country.
But I guess when we see something like Taekwondo in the Olympics, the ultimate aim is to kick your opponent about the head, isn't it?
I can't argue with that. It's a martial art. Martial means war. Art means painting, decorating. But martial arts means beautiful warrior. So the martial arts are a little bit... it's twofold. There's the art side of it, which is 90% of it. And then you've got the martial, which obviously is what we do to defend ourselves.
Rafael, let's just come back to this idea. I mean, like you said, there are so many associations and so many different forms of martial arts in this country. Should there now be one governing body for all of them, maybe stating when kids should be involved in full contact, if at all?
Couldn't argue with that. Why not have an association that says that if kids are going to fight, they have to be a certain age, they have to wear certain gloves, boots, shin guards, gum chill, head guards. I haven't got a problem with that. And that way, everybody knows exactly where to stand. Problem is that there are so many tournaments. On a weekend, you'll have, in Great Britain, I don't know, maybe 100 tournaments, all fighting to a different set of rules. That's very hard to legislate for.
It is. Look, we should stress once more, we don't know what the situation
regarding
Scott's death was, but of course this is all raising questions about the wider sport. Rafael, many thanks indeed.
Thank you so much. My pleasure.
Still to come.